Take us away, Michelle.
Thank you, Brother Eric, and welcome, Om Shanti, everyone, and welcome to Insightful Thursdays. And I'm really preparing for this one. This Thursday, I really wanted to prepare for, and I think we're going to delve into that about preparation. And this month, it's a new month. Happy August. It's my birthday month. So maybe that's why I think I'm in anticipation whenever it's August. It's a very special time. You know, it's in the summer and everything is in full bloom. You can look out my window and I love August. And love is born from understanding. That is the topic for the month. So we're going to venture, and it's a wonderful series for the month of August. And today, the subject is the promise of protection. Now, what does that mean? Actually, it's a preparation for next week, August 11th, Thursday, a very special day of the week, is Rakshabhandhan. And we're going to prepare. We're going to learn how to prepare for that. And I studied a little bit before this, to learn more about Rakshabhandhan. And it is a traditional festival whereby the sister ties a thread, usually a decorative thread, around her brother. And it's a symbol of faith and protection. I'm sure our presenter, Sister Anjani, I'll tip my hand who it is, and I'll get to her in a minute, will explain it better probably than I can. But it's a lovely sentiment that the sister gives her brother this Rakhi, this thread, with love and all good blessings towards the brother. And in return, he gives protection, because the understanding is that women they didn't get the inheritance, and they needed protection, especially if they were married and, if the husband dies or something happens. So the brother is responsible in a loving way to protect the sister. But beyond that, and for someone like me, well, what is the significance of Rakshabhandhan? But it really is it's a spiritual connection. That's how I was taught it. And I was taught it by none other than Sister Anjani, because she's the first one that tied the Rakhi on me probably well over 12 years ago. And it's a connection to God. And it was Sister Anjani and Brother Eric who came to see me the first time in my office and actually explained to me what it meant. And it's something years later, through years, I've been understanding more and more about it. And it's actually a festival in my mind. It strengthens the brotherhood of all of us. We're all brothers and sisters, for that matter. And they said the brotherhood of man. And when we take that path of spirituality, which I was seeking, and somehow Brother Eric and Sister Anjani saw that in me 12 years ago or so, they knew that I was on a path to seek peace, well-being, inner happiness, and chances are that's why you're here and come back Thursday after Thursday and study with us with the Brahma Kumaris. And I'm learning every day to tie myself to the Supreme. And I don't look at it as a tie that necessarily binds it. It's a loving tie. And it's ironic because today I was at work, I work in the city, and I felt God's presence especially. I'm always questioning myself, like, why don't I remember God enough during the day? Because I'm busy. Things are ticking off all day long. I have a lot of tasks to do. I'm in the world and I'm busy. But today, for some strange reason, God was tagging around a lot with me. I really was counting the minutes like, oh, I was in the elevator. I just had a meeting and I'm like, yeah. And I was talking to him like, oh, Baba, that was pretty good. We had a good time together, right? That was a good meeting. And it was kind of strange that today it happened, but I don't think it's by accident. I think he wanted to remind me that he's always with me, because I know he is. But today especially, I've been very conscious of how many minutes during the day, like in the song Rent, how many minutes in a day, in a year, do I remember Baba? And like the song Rent, today was great. I had a lot of remembrance. And I think that had more to do with him, because he was trying to remind me to prepare. I read this wonderful thing recently about Rakshabhandhan. Might have been, it probably was from the Brahma Kumaris. It said, there's an expression, and I used to use it all the time, but I don't use it anymore. I would say, oh, my hands are tied. I used to be in politics, and someone would ask me to do something, and I didn't want to do it. So I said, oh, my hands are tied. I can't do it. And meaning that I can't do certain things. And it's true, when you have certain responsibilities, and not out of laziness, you just can't do it. And it kind of tied that in with what the Rocky is. It's a way to remind myself that my hands are tied, that I shouldn't do certain actions, that I don't want to bring sorrow to others. And I certainly don't want to bring sorrow to myself. And that Rocky on my hand, and I still have it from last year, and that's one of the questions I'm going to ask you, Sister Anjani. My first question is, how long should it stay on? I was afraid usually they fall off. This one has been on for a year, and I hope that's okay. So we'll ask you that question in the Q&A. But the Rocky reminds me, in its way, only to remember God and to do good stuff, to have pure thoughts. And as the song, that beautiful song from Bliss says, love, peace, and wisdom are all part of me. And this Rocky is that protection for me, that I always have God, and always the reminder that God is with me, and love, peace, and wisdom, it's there. I just gotta get to it. So with that, we're gonna get to it. And we are very fortunate today. We have Sister Anjani, and if you've been here once before, twice before, you know Sister Anjani. She is the Senior Director of Global Harmony House. So I have a special tie to Sister Anjani and also to Eric, because I didn't know what I was in for when they used to visit me every year. And here I am. So there's no coincidences in life. I was meant to be here. She tied the Rocky. I used to wait for that Rocky every year. Where is that Rocky? Well, it's time. And sure enough, she would come. My spirit knew it was time, but now I have an even greater understanding. And Sister Anjani is going to share that with us. So welcome, Sister Anjani. It's such a delight. And it's Louise, hi, Louise, if she's out there. I'm filling in this week, and I'm very happy to be here. So thank you for that. And we're going to have a great time this evening. Welcome, Sister Anjani.
Hello, everyone. Om Shanti, and good evening. And thank you, Michelle. Yes, Michelle, we know each other way back more than 12 years. We were looking at the plaque one day on the wall, and we went back so far, back in time. And I said, Michelle, look at this date. And so we used to go to visit. Michelle was the assemblywoman for our Great Neck office here. So we used to go every year to tie her Rakhi. And yes, she really used to look forward that she and her entire staff should get this. And we would have very deep conversation around spirituality. And there was that feeling and recognition that Michelle carried these imprints and memories of that which is very spiritual in the soul. And that's why today she can speak with the same passion, that feeling of love for God. And so, Michelle, keep that flame of love for God burning. Because this is what the world needs today. There is a very big need for God's love, God's bond, that faith, that protection. So many qualities are needed today. A few days ago, I was meeting someone and we were having a conversation, and I see how much people could live their lives thinking about their own world that they're living in. It's very comfortable. I have everything we need. All of that is happening. But if we have to look at the world as a person, we will see that our world is crying desperately. And that is humanity on whole, Mother Nature. It's a big cry that is in the world today. You know, one of the saying we have here at the Brahma Kumaris, the world, the way it is today, it's like as though it's on deathbed. And so how do we save such a world? How do we share with our brothers and sisters across the world? What is it that we have within us that we can offer to help each one in their sorrows today? Within our own families, there could be so much distress. There could be so much pain. How do we reach out to help them? And so this festival of Rakshabhandhan, which means the bond of protection. And this bond is a very sweet bond. It is remembered in India that the sister ties the Rakhi on the wrist of the brother, asking that brother to protect her. And that brother promised that protection and would also offer the sister a gift of his love. Rakhi also, this festival goes back in time when two kings were at war. And the Muslim king, the king was with the Hindu king, they were fighting. The queen of the Hindu kingdom sent the Rakhi over to the Muslim kingdom. And when that king received that Rakhi, the war ended. They created peace within the two kingdoms because the Muslim king knew that this sacred thread is the thread of relationship, it's the thread of this bond. It's this thread that binds us together as a brother and sister. How can I make my sister a widow? However, for us at the Brahma Kumaris, every day for us is this festival. Every day we have in the awareness that I need to remember God. I need to be with God. We may celebrate one day as we join the family in the world who celebrates. But how do we celebrate here? Why do we celebrate? What is the preparation that we make for this celebration? And so, yes, we keep the place very clean. Very clean. We clean the house and make everything very beautiful. We create some very subtle decorations. And so that's the physical aspect. And we make our suite We prepare our beautiful tray with the Rakhi and a tilak. Tilak means it's a dot that we place on everyone's forehead. And so we do all the physical preparations before that day, so that on that day we have everything ready and we don't have to feel ourselves rushing around for anything. And the most important preparation is the preparation of our thoughts, the preparation of our feelings. How do I see the world? So we do not limit ourselves to a sister tying to my brother, but we move our awareness into the whole world. That each living human being, they are my brothers and sisters. Each one needs to experience protection. Each one needs to experience love. But where will humanity, where will my brothers and sisters receive that which they are looking for? Sometimes one is looking for something, but not realizing that one, I have it, and the other is, I really need this. You know, I remember before I came to the Brahma Kumaris, I thought I had a beautiful life. I had everything I needed. Very good family, and everything was in a beautiful state. But when I found and realized that God belongs to me and I belong to God, and experienced that love from God, I said, but this is what I always wanted. This love that is so pure, this love that is unconditional, the love that fills the soul. It was not anything physical. And that was the time when it's as though the soul shifts its awareness from receiving from that which can be taken away, from that which can be broken into many pieces, and then connect to the one, to connect with God. So how I'm seeing this festival, it's a very sacred festival. It's a very spiritual festival. As I said, even though we do all the physical preparations for it, but while all of that is happening, we here at the Brahma Kumaris have been looking deeper into ourselves to see how contented I can be with myself, how contented others can be with me, and how much is God contented with me. We can say, what does these things matter? Whether anyone is contented with me or not. We will get on with life the way we would like to. But our preparation for that day, which would be the actual day of Rakshabhandhan, will be next week, Thursday, when Sister Kala would be doing the session. is that using this week, this time, for a lot of self-reflection. Moving your thoughts inwards and see. It's as though I'm seeing on the screen of my mind, which is the largest screen in the world, is the screen of my mind. And see what is happening in my own world. Don't look to see what's happening in someone else's world. Whatever is happening in someone's world, they might also be asking of me to share something that I have. But I can only help them when I recognize that I have it. If someone's world needs peace, when I stabilize my awareness in my nature of peace, as the soul belonging to the ocean of peace, who is the supreme soul, who is God, I'm able to help that one by sharing the vibrations of peace. So this is the time for a lot of reflections. And I would really like to ask each one of you, my brothers and sisters who have joined us here tonight, to spend this week contemplating on your own inner beauty. Let this be such a valuable preparation for yourself that you have recognized within yourself as a soul, you have the treasures of love, you have the treasures of peace, you have the treasure of happiness, you have many, many beautiful treasures. Recognize them. Become aware of them. Have that faith in yourself that they are your treasures, they are real. Even though sometimes situations come and knock us over, you know, it's like the quality disappear and what remains in front of me is the situation. Let the mind move back to that which you recognize as your strengths, as your qualities. And when you recognize it, let the mind stay with it. As much as I will stay with that awareness, you will find that the situations of life becomes smaller and smaller. Because when I am in my own awareness of who I am as a soul, in the form of light, with that which is beautiful inside of the soul, there's nothing in the wide world that can be bigger than that. And it is this awareness that helps me to feel and to be close to God. To be close to God is one of the most beautiful experience, the most powerful experience any one of God's children can have. And each one of you here tonight, you are God's child. God would look at you and what he would say, you're my child. And when you look at God and you think of God, you will say, I am also God's child. And so this creates a very beautiful bond between the soul and God, God and his child, and we together as the human family, who are brothers or brothers and sisters. And so family is being created. And so think of this festival as a deep relationship between yourself and God. Michelle, you would have heard using the word Baba. She's very comfortable with Baba. Baba means father. You might be wondering, who is this Baba? But you see behind me here, there's this tiny point of light. So we look at God as the supreme light. And we think of ourselves as light. And so light meets light in a very beautiful living relationship. And this relationship creates a very sweet bond. And this bond becomes my promise to God: I will always be your child. I will always be in this relationship with you, that whatever sorrow and pain and suffering or anything that I create for myself or I create for others, I will stop doing that. Any way that I even create harm in any way, I will not do this anymore. We look at our minds and we see that there are so many thoughts that I am using my mind and creating, which is hurting me and which hurts others. Because whatever is in my thoughts, it will come into my words and it will come into actions. And so, how do I change those thoughts to create very pure and peaceful thoughts? And again, it is my relationship with God. So let this experience of belonging to God be such that no situation can separate you. But the situation would become like a swinging rope to take you closer to God and not away from God. Many times people say, I don't have time, I'm too busy to do what I'm doing, so I can't take my meditation classes. I can't do this because of this reason. Or so many situations are happening in my life that I have no more time remain. Little do we know that when we're saying that, we're actually depriving ourselves of something that is so valuable, that is so important. And that is this sweet, bonding relationship and presence of God. And it was a very beautiful thought Michelle was also sharing on the God's presence. And when we experience God's presence, life is just so beautiful. The things which we think are difficult, it becomes easy. Why it becomes easy? Who am I remembering? I'm remembering the source of strength. I'm remembering the source the one who has everything that I need. There is nothing lacking and missing in God. So why should it be missing in my life? And it's a question to ponder on, that I am God's child. Each one of us will say, we belong to God, we are God's children. And so is there that same experience of all these qualities of God being my rights? So that any form of sorrow or pain comes, you'll find that it will not take away your strength. You know, this morning, every day we study in the morning. And this morning, there is something we call blessings, God's blessings. And I really liked it, and I thought I will share this with all those who are here today, so that you can take something from these words of blessings for your own life in terms of your preparation for next week, Thursday. And I would like to read these few words of blessings because it has to do with God's company and how I make this one my companion. And so may you experience the Father's company in the form of your companion in every act you do, and become an embodiment of success. The easiest and constant means of having remembrance is constantly to experience the Father's company, God's company. The experience of his company liberates you from having to work hard. We don't have to struggle in life. When you have his company, you will have remembrance. But this company isn't company where he just sits with you. For this companion means your helper. Imagine God helping us in our lives at every step. Someone who is with you can sometimes be forgotten, but this companion can never be forgotten. So the Father is such a companion in every act you perform that he makes difficult things easy. If you constantly continue to experience the company of this companion, you will become an embodiment of success. Now, isn't that beautiful? So this is what Michelle was experiencing today, thinking about God in that company and companionship. This is what many of us would have experienced throughout the day, because this is our study that we practice now throughout the day. So ask your heart, how can I get closer to God? How can I feel God's qualities and his presence? What do I need to do more in my own soul so that I can get there? And as you ponder on those questions, you will find that you have the answers. Because coming every Thursday night and experiencing the drops from what is shared, those drops are getting accumulated in you, which will one day be like the ocean, very close to God. And so take another step, take another, even if it's like a baby step, take a step this week that will bring benefit to you. That when next week, when we go through the experience of this festival of Rakshabhandhan, you will feel within yourself that how much God loves you. Your faith will increase in God, and then God's protection will be constant. Because to experience God's protection, I just need to remember him and feel that I am his child. And as I said, these are the days, these are the moments of our life that we need to feel this protection. We need to feel that support from God. But we do not only take it for ourselves, we share it with the world. We share it with our brothers and sisters. So prepare yourself. Think of one thing, one gift that you can give to God, which in your life connects you with any form of pain or sorrow. Give it to God as a gift. These are the kinds of gifts God wants from his children, so that his children can be happy. Give that gift to God. If I find myself getting angry or irritated easily, say to God, or say to Baba, I give this to you. I don't want to keep this. I don't want to keep that which will hurt me. I give it away and surrender it to God. And think of yourself as being loving and peaceful and full of God's strength. And you will see how closer and closer you will be to God. Om Shanti. We will have some meditation at the end, but if anyone has any question, hand it over to Michelle.
Okay, so I will check, but anyway, I did want to ask you, are there any rules for the Rocky? I had read somewhere that you shouldn't have it on longer than 15 days. I saw that the other day. I'm like, oh no. Are there rules?
No, Michelle, you can wear your Rakhi until you get the next one, and then you can remove this one because it might get worn out.
Mm-hmm.
So you can, you will get your new Rakhi, and you can.
It's a bit worn.
Yes.
I actually saved all my Rockies. I have all the ones that are from the, I have a little box that I saved them.
Eric has a box where he displays all the Rakhis he has been collecting for all the years. Mm-hmm. So however many Rakhis, that many years he has been studying.
Wow, that's good. That's wonderful. So if there are any questions, you can put it. I guess we're putting it, I'm not sure if the chat, yeah, we could put it in the chat or the Q&A. You know, one thing that you did say, sister, that was just, it really hit me, and it actually, you know, changed my heart, if you will, when you said, imagine sending a gift of that story that you had given. And I had heard of that story when the queen had sent it to the so-called enemy, and his heart changed, and they stopped fighting, and they built a land of peace between the two countries. And it just hit me. It almost took my breath away, that imagine if everyone, you know, diplomatically sent a beautiful Rocky bracelet to their adversary. What can you say at that point in the hand of brotherhood to them, rather than sending weapons of destruction and threats and sanctions? That you sent this beautiful, let's say a pearl, because I love pearls, because the swans picked the pearl Rocky, and said, here, in brotherhood, put this on and think of all the people that we could help. how could anyone say no to that? It just took my breath away that, you know, if we focused on peace instead of the negativity. And my question, if there is a question to that, is, does wearing the Rakhi, can it help release some of that negativity? That's what I noticed too. I think it's a reminder that we have a tendency, the energy, to go down low, you know, because it's easy. The energy, we know that energy is slow and it's easy and lazy, but the Rakhi somehow can bring up your energy and push away the negativity. Have you heard that too? Can Rakhi do that too with negativity?
Because it has a connection with my thoughts, that I'm remembering God. It's as though I'm reminding myself that this is a bond between me and God. So every time I look at it, I'm remembering God. So yes, it's the thread, but where is my thoughts going? My thoughts are connecting to the one that I promise that I would love and I would belong to. So that belonging becomes my protection. So in any difficulty, in any situation, you will find that the thoughts will go to God easily.
Right, and high, on high.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, someone just asked if a copy of this meeting will be emailed to us or available online. So it is available online, right? I know that I catch up with all the Thursday nights that if I miss it for any reason, although I find myself not missing many, I can see it online. So it will be online. That answers that question. Let me see if there are other questions. Oh, okay. Jane, hi Jane. How beautiful, and appreciation, Sister Anjani, for sharing these wonderful gifts and treasures, connecting with God. Oh, and we have another, where online? Where can they see? Maybe Brother Eric can help us, or Sis Anjani, where are these meetings online? I usually find it on the Facebook page for the Brahma Kumar, the Global Harmony House. Is that still correct? Yes, if you go to the Facebook page, sometimes there's a delay, it's not immediate, but I know a couple of days later, you can catch up on all our Thursday Insight. Thank you for asking, by the way. Our Thursday Insightful Thursdays are available on the Global Harmony House Facebook page. So yes, so you will see this.
It's also on the Global Harmony House website. It's listed there. So for the past month, the recordings are available on the website for Global Harmony House, Brahma Kumaris, New York.
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Eric. Yes, we are very technologically savvy lately, I have to say. So that is so. So I'm wondering, just for that, we are having, if the public, can they get the Rakhi? Can you tell us about that? What's going on for the public? Can they come, people, tonight and tie Rakhi?
You know, we used to look forward to having everyone coming to Global Harmony House. And we were planning to have the hall open up for everyone to come in to receive their Rakhi. But then with all the things that's happening around with the COVID, so many people are getting the COVID. And then there is the monkeypox now.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry. I forgot about the monkeypox.
And so with increase, we want to protect everyone.
That's right. That is love, that when you care enough about others to recognize that. Yes.
But if there is anyone who is listening and you would like to have a Rakhi, please, you can email us or give us a call and you will definitely get your Rakhi. Because I know many of you, like Herman I spoke to today, he called. And it was one of the festivals that Herman used to love coming to and get his Rakhi. So anyone who would like to have a Rakhi, you can have it.
Thank you.
You can stop by and pick it up, or we can see how we can get it to you.
That's lovely. Thank you. And thank you for your comments. There are a number of comments thanking you, Sister Anjani, for and grateful appreciation to you for your very clear discussion about Rakshabhandhan, what it really is. I'm trying to think if there's something else, another thing that struck out, so many things you said stuck out, but this one also, imagine, and I think of myself always as blessed. I just can't get over it. What did I do to deserve this life? And I know there's more to come. That's the good stuff. But imagine for someone who is still searching for what they're searching for, if you could speak to that, that's, and not to accept that sorrow, but in my work, I do find a lot of people who are in sorrow. I work, with the public a lot, and they're searching, that they don't always receive what they're searching for. And it's funny how the different ways they approach, there are people that are, have challenges, but still have that positive spirit. And I hear them when they talk, they'll say, well, God's going to help me and I love God and I'm really blessed. And then you have the other side where, you send them, I quietly send them a blessing, but I know they are so far asunder from where they have to be to connect with what they really want. So I'm wondering if you could speak that too, and how Rakshabhandhan, deals with that to give you what you're looking for. That protection. What does it mean by protection? Protection
really means that the soul feels safe. The soul feels that inner security. I could be in the midst of any confusion. Am I afraid of what's happening around me? Or do I feel my belonging and my relationship with God is so close that God stands by me in those moments of challenge? Or do I feel that I'm alone? Do I feel that, the world is being taken away from me and I'm here and I don't want to go through those experiences. I don't want to be attached to my sorrow. I don't want to be attached to my pain. I want to know that these situations of pain or any kind of upheaval that passes, it has to go. It's not here to stay with me. And so, yes, this bond and this love for God is such a beautiful protection, that there is no one in the world who can protect me more and make me feel safe than to be in the company of God. I can be in the company of the strongest human being, but that strongest human being also needs protection. I can be with someone who has all the guns and who has everything as a form of protection, but I will still feel fearful. And so I don't want to feel fearful. I don't want to experience that I have to have guns around me, but I want to feel that my remembrance of God would be such that I feel very safe inside.
Beautiful. That's what you hit it. What is the definition of protection? Protection is not, it's not a physical protection. It's stronger. You had brought up when you first opened that the biggest screen in the world is your mind. And what can come across that screen. And it could scare you what comes across. The mind is a very scary place. It can be, and it could, I often hear of people saying, their thoughts, it's like a loop and it circles back and forth, the same scary thought. And to be able to put a stop to that and be in the moment and not, where am I right now? I'm good right now. I'm in Thursday at Insightful Conversations. Things are okay. And you can take those drops of good things and kind of bead them together, if you will, and things will look up. That's how I look at it too. And one of the things that keeps me going is that everything, the sadness, it's temporary. That's the one thing, but God is permanent. And that God's protection is always there. And even if there's a challenge, and there have been that it's temporary. And that's what gets me through also, because everything of this world, the matter, it's temporary. So that's something that I had learned with you as well. So let me see if there are any questions, because they're coming in. Okay. Oh, someone had asked if they, well, now people are asking about picking it up on Sunday, August 13th. It's okay if they contact you directly,
Yes,
what
they could give me a call at Global Harmony House, or they
Yes.
would have our events, the email. They could also email us on the events.
Yes. So everyone that is asking now for interested in obtaining the bracelet, and we're glad you are, because it's a lovely, lovely thing to have. If you can email Global Harmony House, and even if they're out of town, sister, because someone said they're out of town, could you mail it to someone?
You
Yes.
can also receive your bracelet.
We have a number of people that are not from the immediate area. They just like Insightful Thursdays. And I can tick off a couple of people I know who are nowhere near New York, but we're delighted that you're with us. And especially in this virtual capacity, allows us to connect with so many people. And we feel your energy, even through the box and even through your questions online. So it's really, we're happy to be with you and to share this ability to give you the bracelet, because you will feel, I have to tell you, I remember the first time when I got it, I was elated. I remember like, oh, I have to do this again. And I remember, when you came back again and again, and it's very meaningful and very poignant. Up, here come the questions. Let's see. Let me see what I got. People are now starting up. Here we go. Okay. Om Shanti, we have a couple of thank yous. Oh, and someone can feel the love already. So that's wonderful. Yes. Yes, you could feel the love. There is a lot of love. Don't you agree? When we connect with the Supreme Soul, as well as here, the family, because you are a family, even though I don't even see most of you or any of you at this point, you are the family. And I look forward to Thursdays to be with you. And I know Sister Anthony does too, right? I know that. Yes. And even Brother Eric behind the technological wall, we do appreciate you being here and are so glad to share this with you. Up, here comes another comment. So any minute now, I think we're going to just check. Okay, that's about it. Can you help us with the meditation to prepare us? I love the idea about preparing. That's something that's been a shift also, not to just meditate. What are you going to meditate about? What are you, just like anything else you do in life? You have to prepare. You prepare for an exam. Even when you play tennis, you prepare. So same thing with everything we do, we must be prepared. So help us prepare for this week ahead, this beautiful week ahead of us.
Right. So also I would like to, those who would be receiving your bracelet, when you wear that bracelet, create a very, very determined thought. Ask yourself, what is that which I want to give to God? So that you can let go of that and tie that bracelet with that awareness that at any given moment that weakness returns, you're going to take strength from God to remove it. I'm not going to take back that weakness. And that's how you will see that that weakness will disappear. And what will remain in you would be the strength. So if I say I am letting go of anger, what I'm going to receive from God will be peace. So at any moment a situation comes that I got angry, for example, I will remind myself, I am peaceful. I'm child of the ocean of peace, Father. That's all I need to do. And you will see within a short period of time, that bracelet will remind you to remember God and your determined thought and see the magic in that. And that I will leave for Michelle to follow up with in the weeks and the months to come. It's a sweet reminder to remember God. So let's sit comfortably. And we sit in a very beautiful awareness. The awareness of who I am. Each one of us is a being of light. Imagine yourself as this tiny, tiny point of light. As I create this thought of being light, I can feel myself internally so light and free. The light that has no bondage. The light that feels everything easy because I am light. And the light is peaceful. The light is loving. The light has inner strength. And this light, I, the soul, the light, is child of the supreme light. I belong to God. There is this deep faith in my relationship with God. There is this deep love for God. I prayed to Him. I called out to Him. But today, I belong to Him. Light meets the light, the supreme light. And this beautiful relationship of belonging is created. And I, as a soul, I will never be separated from my highest parent. The one who showers constantly on the soul and sets me free from any of the chains of bondages that I've created and tied myself in. Become free. Let go and let God in. Experience the feeling of safety. Experience the feeling of all rights from the Supreme Source, my parent. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, sister. It was lovely. The time just flew by. You know, I can't believe it's over. I realized I said, oh my, we better get to the meditation. It just flew. So it was delightful. And I think we have our work cut out for us, although not too much work. It's going to be easy. I know for me, I already know what I'm giving to Baba. I know what I'm giving to God. I'm ready. So everyone think about to prepare for next week. I want to thank you for being here. Thank you, Brother Eric. Thank you, Sister Anjali. Thank you all for joining us next week. As Sister Anjali mentioned, we're going to have Sister Kala from Peace Village, and it's going to be the actual day of the festival of Rakshabhandhan. So it's very exciting, and we hope to see you again next week, same time, same bat channel. So, and thank you to the Supreme Soul for all of this, because without him, wouldn't be possible. Thank you so much, and Om Shanti, and have a wonderful week of preparation. Good night.
Om Shanti. Good night.
Shanti, good night to everyone. Thanks for coming to the Global Harmony House Insight. We'll see you next Thursday. We start at 6:30 for meditation. Come and relax and feel the love next week also. Thank you, Sister Anjani. Thank you, Michelle. See you next week. Good night.
Om Shanti. Good night. See you.